there's our objective. In order to do this, you want to be able, or you're going to need to write 3 sentences mainly. The first is where you're going to state that it's a synthesis reaction, decomposition, single displacement, etc. You may even think it's one or either or kind of thing. This is where you're going to talk about what you saw. The metal did this. I started with the metal. I had 2 solutions. Don't imply your evidence, but actually talk about it. Here is where you apply your own logic to connect why do I think a metal means single displacement, all right? Metals are typically involved in single displacements, something to that effect. Now remember, synthesis is like A plus B equals B. Sorry, A plus B equals AB. Or element plus compound equals element plus compound is a single displacement reaction. And that's what this means. You got to remember your patterns and talk about how they allow you to identify a certain reaction as a certain type. Now, here's the reaction we're talking about. The first one. Okay, got a gas. I try to light it. Nothing. There you go. That's the reaction. All right. So the first thing I'd want to consider is what kind of data I had. That's what I think about first. I had a gas, I lit it, and then it produces this flame of light and heat, all right? So what kind of reaction could this be? I'm gonna think about it. Now, this is definitely a combustion reaction. And the evidence I want to talk about, I could talk about any of this because this is like classic combustion where I have a hydrocarbon, in this case propane, reacting with the air or oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. You don't really see those 2 things, but that's the classic form of a combustion reaction. Here's what it might look like if I wrote it up, all right? Okay, here's the second reaction where I took some sugar, all right? I heated it, all right? So to figure out what this kind of reaction is, I'm gonna need to consider the data. I started with a white substance, which was sugar, and I heated it. And what happened? Well, you can see this is forming like a black substance. One thing, and you can't see it in this photo, but if you watch the video below, you can. This is going to produce a gas, and those 3 pieces of evidence, or 4, if it were 4, definitely point me towards a decomposition. I start with one thing and I end with 2 things. I'm producing a gas and I'm heating something that takes a little while to to get going, and it doesn't burn, it just kind of changes. If it were combustion, like something that needed to be heated up like coal, it would produce the light and the flame. So therefore I can kind of eliminate that. It's not single and double displacement because those need solutions to work, and synthesis don't tend to give off a gas. They tend to absorb gases. Here's what this might look like if I were to write it up. All right. Here's the third. I have this white substance, or sorry, I have this metal there. You saw I'm putting it in the flame, and then it burns really bright. All right. And what does it make? All right. There's what it starts as. There's the light, and it makes this. So I have a metal that's being heated, and it gives off this light. All right. And it makes this like white powder. It almost feels like a chalk, but it's not as, or almost looks like a chalk. All right. I've never actually really touched it. Uh, this is what you would see in the remnant of a sparkler. All right. Now, what type of reaction is this? I start with one metal and I produce a one substance, and it's not giving off anything as much as it's absorbing something from the air. And this is going to be a synthesis because I'm taking a metal, reacting with oxygen, and producing like a white substance. And that white substance is actually magnesium oxide. I only have two reactants and one product. Therefore, that'd be a synthesis because synthesis is A plus B equals or yields AB. And that's what classic synthesis reaction looks like. Here's what that might look like if I were to write it up. All right. Now, just to recap, to justify them, you really only got to write 3 sentences. What it is, you don't have to figure it out. You could say it's either or. You're going to talk about what you saw. In Don't imply it. Talk about what you saw. All right, and use that data to justify it being one of the 5 or the reaction types that we know. All right, and remember that the patterns. A plus B equals AB, or element plus element synthesis. A compound and a compound typically double displacement, provided that they are in solution. All right. Let me know if I can help you. And you guys rock. Bye.